Afternoon, my dear viewer. Welcome to today's news update, Younib at 1. My name is Elias Muchina. And to start us off, Moses Lelon Kulal, the former governor of Samburu, faces a fine of 85.4 million shillings or a maximum sentence of 8 years in prison for his offenses of unlawful acquiring public property and conflict of interest. He has also been barred for 10 years from holding any public office.
Each one of you to pay a fine of 1 million in default to serve 4 years imprisonment. That's the first limb. Under Section 1B, as read with Section 2A of ASECA, first accused person, you shall then pay a mandatory fine in the sum of 83,460,995. That sum is equivalent to twice the benefit after apportioning the public funds unlawfully acquired between yourself and the 11th accused person. The 11th accused person, Esbon Ndadi, you shall also pay a fine of 83,460,995, now convicted of a charge of conflict of interest, conduct provision of Section 42.3, as read with Section 48.1 of ASECA. I hereby sentence you under provision of Section 48.1a of the Act to pay a fine of 1 million in default. You serve 4 years imprisonment. That's for count number 3. In count number 3, I'm not imposing any mandatory sentence. That sentence, and pursuant to the provision of Section 64 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003, accused person, you are hereby disqualified from being elected or appointed to any public office for a period of 10 years from the date of this particular judgment.
According to the 2024 Deloitte Africa Private Equity Confidence Survey, East Africa has the continent's fastest growing investment climate, with a predicted regional gross domestic product rate of 5.8% in 2024 and an estimated growth of reach an average of 6.6% by 2026. The region presents the finest investment opportunities, according to the poll that analyzes the investment climate.
Enterprises sit, and that is really driven by the higher returns that you'd expect. Enterprises are yielding lower valuations or lower returns, unlike medium-sized enterprises. So the surge is largely driven by the anticipated economic growth in Kenya in general and also in key sectors. We still anticipate quite increased investment in your financial services, manufacturing and agribusiness. Largely, and this is the same trend that we see across Africa, and also slightly followed by healthcare. Key thing for attracting PE capital is really, consistency around returns, consistency around governance, consistency around both ensuring that the business model is one that can actually stand the test of time.
On to other stories. On the second day of his visit, President William Ruto persisted in charming the Nyanza region with development goods. Speaking while in Homa Bay County, President Ruto declares that his demonstration or administration has promised to unite all Kenyans in support of the federal government in order to guarantee that every region of the nation gets a fair portion of the national pie.
Nyumba ilichomwa na Gen Z. Ndio walisema hatuwezi itikia hiyo maneno hapa kwa sababu ameharibu mboma zetu, ameharibu wasasi wetu, ameharibu watoto wetu.
Watoto wakanyonywa wakanyolewa sehemu za siri na sehemu hii. Wakanyolewa hiyo na makucha, wakakata makucha.
Mtoto akaniambia kuna siku walinitolea nguo zote, wakanilaliza, wakanipaka na hicho mafuta, wakachukua nguo yake ya ndani, wakakata na hiyo ingine mbura, wakachukua.
Pasta anakuja asubuhi, anatakasa kanisa. Akitakasa kanisa, alafu anaitisha nguvu. Nguvu anaitisha hivi, nguvu inakuja. Wakitoa nguo Maji yamemwagwa kwa kanisa yote, watu wanasema hivi, wanatubia hivi, wanatubia hivi, wanatubia hivi, alafu wakawa wote mmoja.
Watu hapa Homa Bay. Lakini sasa mimi nimesikia ati nyinyi mumeanza kuringa ati pesa ya Kenya inalala Homa Bay. Mimi nauliza nyinyi, si mimi wakati mmoja nilimsaidia baba? Yeye akinisaidia safari hii iko makosa jameni? Iko makosa? Ndio baba amenipatia huyu John Mbadi Ng'ong'o. Unajua mimi sikuwa nimejua siri ya kukaa na nyinyi. Sasa nimejua siri ya kukaa na nyinyi ni sisi kuwa watu ya baba. Sasa tuko pamoja. Tuko pamoja hadi Homa Bay. Kimashukuru wako rais Homa Bay. Serikali ya Kenya mimi naongoza, tumesema baba ndiye atakuwa kiongozi wa bara letu la Afrika. Tutamshika mkono, tutamuombea, tutamfanyia campaign, na bara letu la Afrika wamekubali. Muliona juzi jumuiya ya East Africa wote wamekuja hapa. Leo ukirudi utakuwa unafungua modern fish market for over 400 fish traders hapa Homa Bay. Hiyo ni kitu kubwa sana na tunakushukuru.
Tutawasiliana na hao viongozi wote wenye wamechaguliwa na wananchi ili tuendeleze maendeleo yako na mpango ya bottom up.
Mandatory mass registration of the new generation of national identity cards, also called Maisha cards, has been rejected by the government. Julius Bitok, Principal Secretary for Immigration, announced the statement today and mentioned that getting a Maisha number will be optional. The PS claims that even if the government is still holding public meetings in different counties, the national identity card rollout will continue until everyone is enrolled.
There's no plan for mass registration now until the government pronounces otherwise. For now, we have no plan for mass registration. So if you have your ID, the old ID, you can still use it for now. We are going to work on a transition period to ensure that everybody gets the Maisha number. But we are saying, even those adults who already have ID cards, your Maisha number is your ID number. So we shall give you time to move, to transit slowly to the new number. We are not having any plans to transition everybody immediately. It may take some time, depending on the decision the government will make. It will take some time to be able to transition everybody. Kenya tumebaki nyuma kidogo. Tulipokuwa na ID Africa Conference mwaka uliopita, uliona hii countries yote, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, wote wako na ID ya kisasa ambayo iko na chip, ambayo iko na the modern technology. Lakini sisi tumebaki na ile yetu ya 1995 ndio bado tunatumia. So serikali mbili, serikali ya hayati mzee Mwai Kibaki walijaribu lakini walishindwa. Serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta walijaribu na huduma pia wakashindwa. Hii ni mara ya 5 tunajaribu kuhakikisha kwamba tuko na identity, tuko na kitambulisho ya kisasa. We have 18,000 services on e-citizen. These services are running on our Maisha integrated database, or what was formerly called IPRS. These expiry dates are different depending on when the card was printed. And that nobody is going to be denied service. In any case, you are still using the old ID. We are on transition and we are going to agree. So nobody will be denied a service because of the expiry date of an ID. We are still working on the transitional arrangements to ensure that everybody transitions to the new ID.
My dear viewer, we're going for the first break. We'll be back with more updates.
are the best. Hallelujah.
Je, wewe ni mfanyabiashara katika sekta ya elimu, afya bora, usafiri ama unamiliki kampuni yoyote ile? Ungependa kupata fursa ya kutangaza biashara yako ili kuwafikia wateja zaidi? Usikonde. Runinga ya Younib inakupa fursa ya kupeperusha matangazo kuhusu bidhaa na huduma unazotoa kwa bei nafuu. Kwa maelezo zaidi, wasiliana nasi kupitia nambari za simu 0750344700 ama kupitia barua pepe marketing@younibtv.com. Jinyakulie leo. Younib TV, ever the best.
Welcome back. The nation's wage bill to revenue ratio is still problematic. Even as President William Ruto prepares to name new CRC commissioners, the wage bill to revenue ratio in the nation remains a source of headache. In order to guarantee that the nation fulfills the June 2028 35% wage bill to revenue ratio objective, Department CRSC Chairperson Lynn Menyich has asked for increased measures to cut the wage bill in their end-of-term report.
Of the third wage bill conference resolutions. This is so critical in order to achieve the target of not more than 35% wage bill to revenue ratio. It can only be implemented in full collaboration of the stakeholders that were identified during the National Wage Bill Conference. But we also see employee numbers growing in areas where it is not adding value the way it should. In other words, there are many areas to do with employee numbers that speaks to optimal staffing levels. Do we have optimal staffing levels? Leveraging technologies in three areas. One is payroll controls, and I'm happy that there is a resolution from the Wage Bill Conference, and you will see that in our end-of-term report around the payroll controls, why it's important. There is a lot of wastage that happens in the payroll today in Kenya, and that needs to be addressed urgently. That in Africa, Kenya was 26 out of 55, globally 153 out of 189. Those statistics don't speak very well for a country that has very good talent. We know that Kenya is ranked highly in terms of the quality of talent that it produces. So we've got very good talent in Kenya. So the question is, why is our labor productivity low? And if our labor productivity was high, then the country stands to benefit a lot more. Streamlining allowances in the public service, that is the responsibility of the Commission in collaboration with other stakeholders. It is also something that the Commission must continue to focus on. So in 2021, SRC commenced a phased approach to streamlining management and administration of allowances. An estimated saving of 11.2 billion was realized between the financial year 2020-21 and 2023. The Commission received requests for advice amounting to 150.89 billion. The requests approved through SRC's advice reduced the amount to a low of 45.1 billion, hence releasing 1.57 billion to other key government priorities.
A church in Meru is on the spot with members claiming the pastor in charge has been practicing cult-related activities to unsuspecting faithfuls resident in Koma Ward burnt down the church. African Inland Pentecostal Church with former church members accusing the pastor of touching women and children inappropriate during sermons. The allegation of abuse in a secretive church compound span to almost 10 years.
Nyumba ilichomwa na Gen Z. Ndio walisema hatuwezi itikia hiyo maneno hapa kwa sababu ameharibu mboma zetu, ameharibu wazazi wetu, ameharibu watoto wetu.
Watoto wakanyonywa wakanyolewa sehemu za siri na sehemu hii. Wakanyolewa hiyo na makucha, wakakata makucha.
Mtu aniambia kuna siku walinitolea nguo zote, wakanilaliza, wakanipaka na hicho mafuta, wakachukua nguo yake ya ndani, wakakata na hiyo ingine mbura, wakachukua.
Pasta anakuja asubuhi, anatakasa kanisa. Akitakasa kanisa, alafu anaitisha nguvu. Nguvu anaitisha hivi nguvu inakuja. Wakitoa nguo, maji yamemwagwa kwa kanisa yote, watu wanasema hivi, wanatubia hivi. Alafu wakawa wote mahotope. Alafu wakaambiwa hiyo maji wakunywa, kuna migonjwa itapona.
Nikikuja saa 6 usiku nasikia watu wanakoroga sijui ni kitu gani walikuwa wanakoroga, ni urogi.
Sasa niliitishwa kuku ya black ya dume na 2,000.
Mwanamke mmoja akachukuliwa, akabeba hiyo mbuzi kondoo, akaweka kwa mgongo. Sasa akaambiwa panda hii mti, akapanda mti, akasukumwa. Sasa akasukumwa na wanaume, huyo mwanamke akasukumwa akiwa usi. Sasa wakirundi wote wakaingia ndani ya kitangi ile ndani, wakafanya hii kudhambira kuoga wote, wakaoga wakatoka, hiyo maji ikaachwa hapo. Wale watu wakikuja mchana, alafu wakunywe hiyo maji, wapike chakula na hiyo maji. Asema ule mtu ataongea hii maneno atasikwa na kansa ya hii watasikwa na hiyo kansa. Sasa sisi tukanyamaza, tumekataa kuongea hiyo maneno.
Hata ukiwa mama wa kanisa, hata mkigombana na mume wako uwezi enda kwenu nyumbani kwa mama yako, unakuja hapa tu kwa kanisa, ndio unaishi hapa. Asikie mahali yako, achukue hatua kama ile alichukua ya Makenzi, kwa sababu hii ni shakahola.
3 weeks after Dr. Deborah Barras was sworn in as the new health CS, former cabinet secretary Susan Nakhumicha gave her the keys to the Ministry of Health yesterday. Here is the report.
We came in, there was a lot of dark cloud hanging around KEMSA, but I believe when we have managed to do quite some work, we put in place a new board, and the governance structure worked very well. Having to see that there are patients who need to be served, and the doctors are not there to serve them. I must say that is one of the things that really was a low moment for me as I worked here.
I believe that ensuring that this is implemented to the last step is really critical, and is actually aligned to the Sustainable Development Goals. I am keen to strengthen this program as well, and the establishment of primary healthcare networks and other initiatives.
Now, vaccine will not be a top priority. We need to put in place the infection prevention control measures as our main prong of control of mpox.
My dear viewer, we come to the end of our today's news update, news Younib at 1. My name is Elias Muchina. Do have yourself a wonderful day. Goodbye.